Welcome back, everyone. I'm Don Cravins, Jr., Executive Director of the National Urban League's Washington Bureau. This is your Washington Update with the top things you need to know. With just over 20 days into his term as United States Attorney General, Jeff Sessions has already announced a trilogy of rollbacks aimed at weakening or dismantling key civil rights and justice policies. First, the Sessions-led Justice Department announced that it will limit its pursuit of lawsuits against local police departments in cases of overt racism and excessive force. This is a direct reversal of the policy enacted under the previous administration. Attorney General Sessions has also stated that those resources will now be used to aid police in fighting crime. Additionally, the Justice Department reversed its guidance to the Bureau of Prisons. Remember, under President Obama, guidance was issued aimed at phasing out and reducing the use of private prisons. Well, Jeff Sessions has reversed that, and it looks like for the time being, private prisons will continue to make profits by locking up prisoners. And finally, the Justice Department reversed its position on the Texas voter ID law case. Under the last administration, the Justice Department was clear. The Texas voter ID law and laws like that were intended to discriminate against minority voters. Well, now, unfortunately, Attorney General Sessions and the Justice Department have reversed and will not challenge suppressive voter ID laws. There's no question, ladies and gentlemen, that these three acts have placed the Justice Department and the Attorney General on the wrong side of the fight for civil rights. DOJ's main focus should be to uphold policies and laws which protect the rights of Americans, not strip away with the very mechanisms we use to fight injustice in this country. The National Urban League will remain responsive to any and all threats to civil and human rights. While we're open to working with the new administration to advance civil rights, we will hold them accountable when their actions prove to hurt and not help our communities. Last week, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer announced that the Democratic caucus would adopt the Rooney Rule to ensure that diverse hiring practices would take place with regard to Democratic senators. Now, you may have heard of the Rooney Rule. It's based upon the National Football League's rule. It requires senators to interview at least one minority applicant for each senior staff opening. As we've mentioned before here, Senate staff diversity is critical to having a Senate that operates on behalf of all Americans and not just a chosen few. We commend Minority Leader Schumer for taking this important step towards prioritizing diverse hiring practices in the Senate. But the U.S. Senate must go further by also adopting measures to report their diversity numbers and to make the hiring process transparent by posting all of the job vacancies publicly rather than making these hires behind closed doors. The National Urban League will continue to work with both Democrats and Republicans to ensure that Senate staff diversity makes meaningful progress in the coming months. Women's History Month is an annual opportunity for the country to recognize the revolutionary women who have shaped our history and continue to break barriers in their fields. Throughout Women's History Month, the National Urban League will honor the African American women who have, against all odds, shattered the obstacles in their way and made an indelible mark on our history, while also raising awareness of the many challenges that American women face. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at NUL Policy for our Women's History Month updates. Well, that'll do it for this week's update. I'm Don Cravins, Jr. Thanks for what you do in and for the movement.